What's going on, people? Welcome to United View and welcome to another morning of news, of takeover, saga, of transfers. We've got it all this morning off the back of, can we call it an exciting day yesterday? Let's call it chaotic. Chaotic day yesterday. Exciting is probably the wrong word.
A fair explanation of what yesterday was. It was a madness, and it's not the first time that's happened this week. Not even this month. This week, we had a madness, but I guess this is the reality we're in right now, folks. We are in the reality of chaos, stock surges, price going up, trading being paused, and all of the above. It's kind of crazy, Fleck, yeah?
It's kind of crazy. So we're going to be talking about Qatar reports. We're going to be talking about Reuters doubling down on their perspective of things, that Manchester United or Sheikh Jassim is in basically a period of, or going into a period of exclusivity with the Glazers. Obviously, we're talking about the other side of things, which is the football side of things and the football journalist based in this side of the coin. I spoke to Mike Keegan yesterday. A lot of you guys enjoyed it. Some of you didn't. Some of you didn't believe what he was saying. Some of you didn't like what he was saying. But it was my job to get him into the room and listen to what he had to say and bring that to you guys so you guys can make your own minds up. So we want to debunk all of that. Kim Min-jae, Bayern Munich hijack. We're going to be talking about that. Onana move. There's stuff going on with David De Gea. That deal is still not signed off yet. He still hasn't been announced. Onana.
What's his name?
Onana. What's his name? Onana. What's his name? Yeah. You know. Yeah, I hear you. First time I've heard that one, to be fair. Owen, don't ever change. Rashford, Mbappe swap. Yeah, right. And Rabiot latest as well. So let's get into it. Qatar reports. Reuters doubling down, Owen.
Yeah. To be fair, it's not even necessarily accurate. They've tripled down. They have put this same article out a couple of times now. Obviously, they were the ones yesterday that actually caused trading to pause for the Manchester United stock because they said it was an exclusive from Reuters saying that Manchester United were negotiating exclusivity with Qatar's Sheikh Jassim in a $6 billion plus sale, and they were the talks that were going on. Now, obviously, since then, you've had several different journalists, as you mentioned, Ben Jacobs, Mike Keegan, The Times as well, and Simon Stone all sort of come out and say, well, that's not what we've heard. We've heard that there is no preferred bidder. There is no exclusivity. There's no actual real movement on this entire takeover process. So you would think, you turn your head and you look at Reuters and you say, well, are they going to eventually say, oh, okay, maybe we got it wrong. What's going on there? But no, they're continuing to put out this article. Since they actually put it out the first time, they've put it out 2 more times, late last night, and I believe this morning too. It's the same article. I can read it out again, saying that English football club Manchester United is negotiating granting exclusivity to the consortium led by Qatar's Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani in talks to sell itself for more than $6 billion. People were familiar with the matter said on Thursday. While a deal remains uncertain, the development represents a major milestone in the efforts of Sheikh Jassim, the son of Qatar's former prime minister, who is one of the richest men in the Gulf states, to take over the iconic sports brand. Then talks about the entire process with INEOS, exclusivity period, blah, blah, blah. But it says that Manchester United would not be allowed to negotiate with any bidder other than Sheikh Jassim for the exclusivity period. It could not be learned how long this period may last. The sources cautioned that the situation remained fluid and a new bid from Ratcliffe could prevent Sheikh Jassim from securing exclusivity. The sources, and this is something that KG and myself kind of laughed at yesterday, requested anonymity because the matter is confidential. Not that confidential when they have 25 million followers. Never, and the trading had to stop and pause on the shares yesterday, on the stock market rather. Representatives from Manchester United and Sheikh Jassim did not immediately respond to requests for comment. So, of course, that came out yesterday. Craziness ensued and everyone's going crazy. As I mentioned, it was largely sort of poo-pooed, or sort of the domestic side of people were saying, or the football side of people were saying, that's not what we're hearing. The Times then went with an article last night saying that a new owner at Manchester United is unlikely to be in place before the start of the new domestic football season. Sources maintain the Glazers are close to announcing the identity of a preferred bidder. The approval process before any deal is completed will take a further 8 to 12 weeks. Sir Jim Ratcliffe, according to the Times, remains favourite to take over at Manchester United in a deal that ultimately values the club at close to £6 billion. Manchester United's plans for the transfer market will not be impacted by the delayed sale, with Ten Hag and the club's technical staff free to continue pursuing their summer targets, which is what Mike Keegan did say yesterday, saying it'll be largely affected by FFP as opposed to the takeover. But they did also talk about these reports yesterday from the Qatari side of things, saying, again, the Times, that Sheikh Jassim's bid to buy Manchester United was actually news to the Qataris themselves. They have grown rather frustrated in recent days by the lack of dialogue with Rain. A report on Thursday, the report from Reuters, stating that United were negotiating granting exclusivity to Sheikh Jassim's group was widely dismissed. Evidence that the 9-2 Foundation UK had been registered at Companies House was also described as insignificant, according to the Times. So I know, again, that's a lot, but there's a lot with this takeover stuff at the moment. And what we are in, Flex, at this point, is we are in a situation, I believe anyway, and this was something that KG and myself were debating yesterday, is you've got now two sides here. You've got business, financial sides, Reuters, and the guy that wrote that, I think, is the mergers and acquisitions editor for Reuters, major outlet. You've also got Faisal Islam from the BBC economics editor. He's saying, that he'd still bet on Qatar to win, and saying that if we get close to $30 per share, we're in takeover territory, and saying that he thinks it's 3-2 the last minute of a match, and Qatar scored a last minute goal, something like that. I think was his analogy.
That was literally the analogy. Yeah,
I'm paraphrasing. But the point is you've got business, finance people saying Qatar. You've got football people, football journalists saying no real movement. If anything, Sir Jim's the favourite. So as the thumb says, who do you believe? And what to believe is the big question.
Yeah, it is a massive question, because you've got financial versus football, haven't you? Really, that's what this is. And I'm not a financial expert. I'm not a football expert. A lot of you will say, "Flick it over, you're not a football expert either." So what are you doing here? I'm just a fan. But that's why this is really hard, because, in my opinion, right, keeping calm, and let's take the hype out of it. And I want Altans, and I want to put the Thobe on, and let's just be serious for a little bit, yeah? Because I do want all of them things. And if it is, you're going to see a very different me. You will see a very different me if it is Qatar. Because you know that I want that bid. But for the purposes of doing this and being responsible with the platform and looking at both sides and trying to keep calm through the noise, we want to see reports that back up what we want to happen. That's just that's natural. That's natural for me. If I see Rio Ferdinand saying, I've heard this, I'm excited. I want to talk about it. I want to come to you guys. Have you seen what Rio's just said? Reuters, very reputable outlet, very, very reputable. Quite funny, which shows you actually some of the people that are on Twitter and maybe the lack of understanding about something. Some people were like, "Are Reuters credible? What is Reuters? What's this?" There was a tweet, that tweet going around saying that, of that convo of like the person was like, "Oh, but I would have expected like Ornstein or like or Fabrizio to be saying this." No, this is like big financial scale, massive institution is changing hands. This is a big financial transaction. These guys are all over it. Bloomberg, Financial Times, Reuters over there in America. This is massive. New York Stock Exchange we're hearing about. So this is out of a realm that us fans are usually in. Now, what happens on social media is that a hashtag starts trending, tweets start picking up likes, retweets, and then that gathers momentum. And if it's something that you want to see, even if you don't mean to, you jump on it. You're part of that conversation. You're on there talking about it as well. I am. I'm not trying to exclude myself from this to say, oh, I know I'm different. I'm the same. I'm talking about us as a collective. We jump on it. We come on this channel. We talk about stuff. We're part of the trending too. It's a trending topic. But my understanding of it, when I scale it back, is that just because it's trending and it's this and it's that, it doesn't mean it's true. Rio Ferdinand has said that he expects a decision to be made imminent. That's what he was told, and he hopes it's true. That's what he actually said. He said, I've been told by good sources that it's this, and that there's a decision within the coming days/week. Yeah. And then in the same video, he says, I hope it's true, man. Please let it be true. So what he's saying is that it isn't definite. Someone just told him that. Rio's got a lot of sources. He's got a lot of connects. Someone just told him that. The Reuters situation. like Mike Keegan said yesterday, it's not nothing. That is not nothing. Reuters are reputable. And for people to be putting their names, big reputable outlets, putting their names to stuff, that's where your eyebrows have to raise, your ears have to prick up. When Reuters are putting the outlet out, the publication out there 3 times over, they're saying, listen, this is our information. We trust it. And actually, this whole journalistic thing, what I learned yesterday, talking to Mike Keegan, and actually what I kind of already knew, it's about them trusting their sources and staying true to that. Now, Reuters are saying, listen, British media can say what they want. We've been told this, and we're going with it. They're not saying that Sheikh Jassim has been granted exclusivity. They're saying that he's in conversations for, insinuating that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is not in conversations for exclusivity. So it is about who you believe, and it is about how you dissect this information. For me, what I would say is every time, and this is just, you can say, Flex, you're just thinking negative, or why are you trying to take the thunder away? I'm just trying to be calm and logical, right? Because I think we have to be. Every time we've got excited about a development, when you scale it down, how much change has there been in the situation? There has still been no official line from any of the people involved in this, i.e. Ineos and Sheikh Jassim, because of NDAs, and they can't, I get that there is a winner. There's been no line from the Glazers that there is a winner. Still not. We were told that would happen this week. It's Friday. Ain't going to happen this week, is it now? It's not. It's not. So that's already gone. We were told that Sheikh Jassim was going to walk away. Hasn't walked away. We were told that it was third and final bid time. He's now on a 5th bid. So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that just like Reuters are lying, don't believe that. And I'm also not saying that the British media don't know anything. They're just rubbish. What I'm saying is that it is the truth that people are backing their sources, but essentially, nobody knows. Nobody knows.
No.
Nobody knows.
No, and I can understand. We're all United fans here. Well, most people, I would think. And even if you're not, you're probably frustrated just by the ongoing saga and the nature of it. And it's the contradiction. That's the most frustrating thing. You kind of highlighted it there. But throughout this entire process, which has lasted 7 months so far, 7 months, we have seen information be reported or rumored, and then within hours, minutes, or days, the opposite be reported too. So then you get into a situation of what do you believe? As I mentioned, as you said, you've got bids have gone in. Then you get bids haven't gone in. Then you've got this is the 3rd and final round. No more bids are going to go in. Then you get bids number 4 and 5 from Sheikh Jassim. You get Sir Jim Ratcliffe's the favourite. Then and you get Sheikh Jassim and the 9-2 Foundation. They think they're losing. They're out the race. Then you get they're confident. Then you get Ineos are confident. You get a company registered Companies House. That was done ages ago. That wasn't done ages ago. That was done yesterday. It doesn't matter. It does matter. You've got Reuters saying exclusivity. You've got other people saying there is no going to be exclusivity either way. You've got there's going to be a preferred. They're the preferred bidder. There is no preferred bidder. You've got it's going to be done by Easter. It's not done by Easter. You've got it's going to be done before the start of the season or before the transfer window. Transfer window opens. You've got the start of the season, not by the start of the season. I mean, anything that has been reported, anything that has been reported. The opposite comes out about an hour or so later. And it's maddening when you get it. And then when you take a step back now, we're still in this same situation. You've got one group of people saying one thing. You've got another group saying the opposite. So it does get into a territory of who do you believe? The issue with that is when you're into the point of who to believe, you do have to be rational still. And you still do have to be, okay, am I basing this upon facts or what I want? That's the key thing, because sometimes I think we do get in a situation of what do I want to hear? And when you see something that you want to hear, you latch onto it. The issue is I'd say what makes the most sense? Nothing makes the most sense involved in all of this. So it's really difficult. And I think the biggest frustration now for all fans involved or all onlookers involved is, whilst it does feel like we're in maybe an end game, how long is this end game going to actually last for? Because the end game would suggest that it's not that long to go. But let's face it, last week they said we were going to get some kind of movement this week. There's no movement. They said, we're going to probably find out who that person is that wins this week. Hey, we've got 2 days left of this week. And as you said, I don't think we're getting to that territory at this point. So It's baffling. I'm at a loss for words, Fleck. I really am, because and the worst thing is again, this happened twice this week. First time with the Qatari media, where everyone went crazy. Next day, it was like, about that, I'm not sure.
But nobody's saying. That. Sorry, go on, finish. Yeah.
And then again, it happened again. It happened yesterday. It's literally, it's that Office gif, isn't it? It's happening, and they're running through. If that was real, that's twice. And that from that episode of Fire Drill or whatever, you'd have had 2 fire drills in 1 week.
Exactly. And this is the thing. And again, I want it to be Qatar. Fingers, please be Sheikh Jassim, please. I really want it to be Qatar. You guys know that. But why are we not saying then that the Qatar media? No one's saying like, the Qatar media just lied. And when it was coming out from the financial, who was it? Was it Press Association? Who was the source saying that Sheikh Jassim's camp said that was nonsense?
But yesterday.
No, not yesterday's one. The one that happened when Al Watan.
It was I think it was
Press
PA.
Association.
It was PA or something, whatever. Yeah, whatever that stands for.
Yeah, I think that's the Press Association. Yeah, so that's who Simon, not Stone, Peach. That's who Peachy works for.
Peachy.
I'm sure he's Press Association. Eric, injuries, updates,
team news,
any players, team news.
Sheikh Jassim. Takeover news.
One day I'm just going to steal Peachy's question. I'm going to steal his thunder. I'm just going to waste our opportunity and just ask about team news.
Do you think if someone does, if they're first and they go team news, do you think he just see you later? I've got another question. That's all I've got.
But yeah, what I'm saying is that you can tell that it's about what you want to happen, and we're reacting off emotion and not always what's happening sometimes, right? And again, I've been in this. I'm in this. And I've just taken a step back recently because I'm in it and I can get to speak to both sides. And I really want to be responsible here on United View to make sure we're covering it properly and not just covering off emotions. This is why I thought this. When them things come out from Al Watan, and we were like, bloody hell. If his dad owns 50% of that publication, they can't lie. That's ridiculous. Then people were putting out tweets saying, listen, there's a lot of stringent repercussions basically in the Qatari media if you say something wrong. So if they're saying that means it's true. I saw that on Twitter as well. We saw that it was an announcement was coming soon. All of that stuff. Then when the Qatari media then discredited that itself, was it Al Watan come out and said, "Oh, well, we didn't quite say that."
Well, Al Watan came out and they said, first of all, it's not owned by his dad. That's contrary to that's a rumor. Although so if you did, although at the time, if you typed it in on Google and all of the things said it was owned by his dad, and they went, well, that's not accurate. And then they said that their article was based on international media and they were kind of speculating and it was misinterpreted, mistranslated, whatever you want to say. But again, that's the territory we're in. That is madness.
Right. So this is what I'm saying. So from that point, nobody went, the Qatar media literally said, we got that from international reports and compiled that. And that was our findings. That's what they said. That's your fault. So nobody said, don't believe the Qataris, that they're just trying to push Sheikh Jassim. Everyone just went, oh, okay, we'll just forget about that one because we took an L on that one because we thought we'd won. We wanted it all to be Sheikh Jassim, and that was bullshit. That whole story was bullshit. No one even listened to the bit where people were reporting that Sheikh Jassim's camp themselves said, we don't know anything about that because it's not what we want to hear. No one was going crazy saying Sheikh Jassim says he doesn't know. It was like, oh, okay, not a W then. Let's just move on. But when the British media say, according to our sources, there's still no preferred bidder. They're in Sir Jim Ratcliffe's pocket. Nobody knows. No. We make that decision instantly. But when the Qatar media was getting it a lot wrong, we were like, okay, well.
But this is the thing as well, Flex. Again, this is
that shows you. How do you know?
This is when I say people get into the territory of who do they want to believe, because there will be still people of for that, with Al Watan, that they believe, and Katie was kind of half jokingly saying it yesterday that, that was kind of a cover up. They let loose lips sink ships. That was a situation where they were giving us some information that they weren't actually meant to go to print that quickly, or they overstepped the mark when it came to it and they had to backtrack and all that kind of stuff. Same with the company's house thing, because the company's house thing is that aspect of it is bizarre. I have to admit that is bizarre, because when I understand the point that the football and British journalists were mentioning yesterday, whereby it's a necessary step in the process, which of course it is. They have to have a company in the UK. But the line that, oh no, that was in the process for months. But then Faisal Islam tweeted it out saying, actually, no, it was electronically filed today. So, and I think it's quite common knowledge to set up a company in the UK. It really doesn't take that much time at all. It really doesn't. You know, it can take a couple of days, a couple of hours. In some cases, you know, there's companies that do it for you. And again, they'll do it very, very quickly. So that aspect of it was very strange. Unless like they sent paperwork, I don't know, by like message in a bottle from Qatar and it floated over eventually. Like I didn't get that. I really didn't. But that's just again another aspect of it, is that this whole process, it's bizarre. It's getting into bizarre territory, that we're now in the stage of people reporting things and we don't believe, you know, what people are saying. And it's look, we've picked sides. That's what's happened now. We've picked sides, and I understand why people have picked the side of the financials, because what people are saying, and this is in support of, you know, people saying that the British media are a little bit in the dark compared to the financial experts. This is something that is above football journalism. This is financial reporting. This is a different stratosphere. This is a different realm. And when you get people, big credible outlets like Reuters over there in the States claiming this, your ears have to prick up and listen. And even Mike Keegan said that. He said, listen, I had to bring all my sources and say, well, what's going on here? They've claimed this. Have I been done? And maybe he has. But I bet running with it. I bet what won't happen, as an exclusive, I bet what won't happen is if, say, Sir Jim Ratcliffe gets this football club, which I hope he doesn't. Say he does. What, is everyone going to be like, oh, I'll tell you what, British media are right then? Like, what? No one's going to say that. What does it mean that if in 3 weeks we still haven't been told anything? Well, that means that Rio Ferdinand's thing was wrong. That means that, you know, all the other reports claiming that Qatar had won and all that were wrong. Like, some people say it's not wrong, it's just too early. But I think also as well with that, and maybe this is also where it stems from, is this is the first time these people have put their necks out on the line. We haven't heard Rio Ferdinand before say this is going to happen. We haven't heard a Qatari media outlet say this is going to happen. We haven't heard Reuters say this is happening before. Whereas the argument that some people might make is those other guys have said things are going to happen or have happened before, and then they haven't, or the opposite has happened. So I guess in their minds, they go, well, you said that before and it didn't happen, so I don't believe you anymore. Whereas these people, it's almost like, again, because they haven't spoken before, they've almost got more credibility than the people that have in their minds, if that makes sense. So to your point, if nothing does happen for 2 or 3 weeks, then maybe people will look at Rio Ferdinand and go, bullshit. If it doesn't happen, if nothing happens with Qatar for 2 or 3 weeks again, maybe they will look at Reuters and go, that was rubbish. And then if they do say something again afterwards, they go, well, when you said it last time, that didn't work out, or that wasn't accurate. So I really can sympathize with those people that just be like, I've heard a lot of that throughout all of this and nothing's happened. And again, it's frustrating, really frustrating.
Yeah. Witterbird says, let's take a second. It's an amazing bunch of you watching. Less than 300 likes. Come on, 2.6K watching, which is now 2.7K. Hit the like button, and while you're there, subscribe. It will be a good moment to own. Thumbs up, big up Witterbird. And she's exactly right. She is exactly right. Please hit the like button. If you've just joined us, please hit subscribe. If you haven't done so already, few super chats here. Martial Arts says, chance of an autograph at the game in Dublin, Fleck. Yeah, my autograph is going to be worth nothing. You can't put it on eBay and sell it. Or
you're a liar.
Like it's big money. A liar.
It's big buddy. Alfani autograph. Come on.
Yeah, you can have that. I don't know why you'd want it, but yeah, no problem. Martial Arts, come find me. Lil Yo-Yo says the Mike Keegan interview was class, Fleck. Big up on the style of questioning. Reuters doubling down on their article is like a DEE wheeler.
Can I just say actually as well, because the Mike Keegan interview, as a member and contributor to this channel for nearly 2 years at this point.
Yeah, that's great.
That was, I felt, a really big moment for United View yesterday, and a really proud moment. I saw that KG did a post about it. I was watching it, and I was like, you know, sometimes you forget how little we've been around for, and sometimes in my mind, certainly, I consider us, you know, the little engine that could sort of just chugging along. And that was a really big deal yesterday. And I thought that you did a fantastic job, Fleck. You should be very proud of yourself, as should the community, because it's not possible without all of you. So claps in the chat.
Yeah, well, I'm like Owen. I don't like all those accolades. So let's get to the next super chat. No, listen, for the channel, big up Owen. But for, like I said, it's just for the channel, and to be able to get someone like that, whether you liked what he said or not, I just wanted to ask him questions that we all kind of think. Like when I asked him about the style of reporting, and we've said for ages, haven't we, that we feel that the British media don't have the ins to the Qatari media or sources there. So do you report differently because all your sources are basically coming from Shajim? And he said, look, if you're a good journalist, you got sources from both sides, you know? And he said it was a good question as well. But yeah, that's the channel. That's what you guys have created. We've created something big enough where mainstream journalists feel that this is a place where they should come and share their insights. So big up to you guys for supporting the channel, because if none of you did, they wouldn't see it as worth their time. So it's all on you. Lil Yo-Yo says, oh no, we've read that one. Fizzo says, which is the bigger industry, finance or football? Follow the money. This is a business transaction where banks and auditors are involved. They will be in the know. Remzin, been a member for 6 months. Big up to you, Remzin. Says, Owen, that was fantastic. Couldn't have put it any better. They are liars, as Conte would say. Yeah, when you was literally spitting. It was this, then it was this, then it was that, then it was that. That was brilliant. And Tavis Low says, I think it's done, but it has been leaked too early. So now they have to say it's not over and can't confirm anything. I finally believe. Glory, glory, Man United. Glory, glory, United View. And Chini May, thank you for the contribution. I think I've seen you here every day since you've joined, which is amazing.
Big up Chini.
So, yeah, big up Chini.
Gifted members the other day as well from her.
Yes, exactly. So big up to you. Says, good morning, everyone. Hope everyone is well. Just spreading some Friday morning love, man. We love that. That's what the community is about. Big up to you, Chini. And Andy says, you said from day one, Flex, that the purpose of United View is that everyone's view is valid here. And you epitomized it yesterday with a great interview with Mike Keegan. Loved getting to know about the person behind the articles. Yeah, that's it. I'm glad it's come across like that, man. Because I know we want to hear what we want to hear. But I was actually interested in him as well, because, you know, there is a lot of pressure on these guys. I'm not a Mike Keegan sympathizer, and I'm on the payroll at Daily Mail.
You're a Mike Keegan stan. Yeah. You admit it.
Yeah,
admit it.
Mike Keegan stan. I just said it at the time. I'm a people person. I like hearing people's story. It was the same when we had Melissa Reddy on.
Yeah,
I asked her, what is it like for her, how she has to report on this, the stick that she has to deal with, the people chatting shit in the comments, people being sexist, people making up rumors. What is that like? I want to know. Can't be easy. I'm not saying that Mike Keegan's bloody got a horrible life because of some trolls on the internet, but he did give an indication as to what that like and gave his account.
I liked it when he said, "Oh, here we go again, Killjoy Keegan."
Yeah, Killjoy Keegan. Yeah. Before when we were off camera, he was saying, "Look, honestly, like people think I'm just here to literally, you know, destroy their dreams. I support Oldham. I don't have a dog in the race." Ray Carl Brown says, big up, guys. He's been a member for 1 month. Big up, Ray Carl Brown. Always see you supporting the channel as well. So big up to you. So yeah, look, that's where we're at, isn't it, Owen? You guys have to. I think my encouragement as closing statement before you get your closing statement on this, Owen, before we move on to Kim Min Jae. Keep calm. I know it's hard. I know it's hard to keep calm because we all get excited. I get excited all the time. And I want it to be Qatar. I really, really want it to be Qatar. But do your due diligence. You know, everything is out there on the internet. There's no special remedy. Of course, these people that are claiming these big stories have sources that we all don't have as fans. But in terms of reading articles and reading it again and then a third time to make sure you understand what it's saying versus what it isn't saying, All that information's out there. The Reuters article's out there. It's there. You can read it to see exactly what it's saying. The Rio Ferdinand video is there for you to look at, not just in a short clip. Look at the whole thing. Look at what he's saying. Do your own research. Don't just listen to me and Owen. Don't just listen to what someone else says. So that's what I encourage everyone to do in this process. We're here to kind of let you know the chronological order of the way that things have been happening and what the latest thing is and stuff like that. That's our job. But after that, it's kind of up to everyone to make their own mind up. Do not listen to KG, though.
No.
Do not listen.
He's gone from a tier 1 journo to a tier 9 in the space
He's put
of 24
that in his bio
hours.
now. He's tier 9. Don't listen to anyone who's calling himself tier 9 KG.
Did you see him on the stream with me yesterday?
I saw him. He was disgusting.
Did you see he turned up dressed in a suit and with a little notepad, a pen that was empty. And then he put out the camera and went, see what's inside my notes? Nothing, because nobody knows nothing. And then
he's there as well. Look at KG, tier 9, baby.
And then eventually we kind of came to the realization that Thursday maybe wasn't going to happen. So he took his jacket off. He went, oh.
I was going to say, he told us Thursday. It's Friday. We still don't know.
Friday. Who it is. Yeah. Tier 9, tier 9G.
But this is what I love about the United View, because you are going to get every base covered. You're going to get people like KG at United View who are going to give you that entertainment factor and say, listen, believe, we're all fans. You're going to get someone like me who maybe just, I don't know, you can say I'll take the joy away. Then you're going to get Owen, he's literally perfectly in the middle, who's going to give you the facts and deliver it properly. Then you're going to get people like Marcel who just predict things before they happen.
Look at KG. Look at KG.
You're going to get Minna.
According to Reuters, I was right. You said Thursday there would be a decision. You said Thursday there would be a decision.
Where's the decision then, bro? Where's the decision? Signing kind of Keeganish. People are getting onto Mike Keegan because he said that there was going to be a thing this week, and now there ain't. So where's the decision, bro?
Anyway, Flo, we need to move on.
Where's the decision? Where's the decision?
We have 4 stories left in 25 minutes. We are grossly over time.
Yes, sorry. And we need to get these super chats out. Amir says, is there a UK reluctance towards pro-Qatar reports? Mike Keegan said there wasn't, but make your own mind up. WJ Barrett says, transfer people know about transfers, business people know about business. I know who I believe, and I have always believed you have. Qatar was always winning. Aminor says, tier 1 KG to Boykev. Where is Boykev moving to? And Jack Forrest says, for the first game of the new United era, would it be possible to do a watch-along stream with all the big fan channels? The Stand, the People's, TV, etc. I would say that isn't possible because United Stand would never do that. Ever. So, yeah, I don't think Mark wants to be collaborating with other United channels. That's just not what they do. So, sorry, Jack.
You never know. Collaboration is the key. Certainly
100%.
We're open. You know?
Oh, we're open to whatever's out there. 100%. Yeah. Collaboration is the key, but I could never see them doing that. Bayern hijack Kim Min-jae.
It's over, Fleck. It's over. No, well, it might be. Fabrizio Romano tweeted last night that he understands that Bayern have presented their project to Kim Min-jae this week, and the agreement on personal terms is now close. Kim, tempted by Bayern, as talks are now advancing fast. Man United remain interested, but it was never done. The release clause is available in July. Now, it must be said, there was a lot of freak out regarding this I saw last night, saying they've stolen him. They've stolen him from us. Kim Min-jae's going to Bayern. We've missed out again. What a perfect start to the transfer window. And that might very well be the case. However, my feeling is, and this is just my feeling, I don't know what you think about this, is that this is something that we were discussing the other day, weren't we? We were saying you cannot be naive when it comes to release clauses to think you're the only club that's going to try and trigger that release clause. So what does Kim Min-jae have now? He has options, Flex. He has Bayern Munich, who they've agreed personal terms with. United, it's interesting because reports came out, well, for the last 3 or 4 weeks that it was done. He decided Manchester United. He'd agreed personal terms. Now, Romano is saying United remain interested, but it was never done. You've also got other reports suggesting that Napoli, they're still trying their best because until he moves, they're going to try and tie him down to a new contract without a release clause in it. So maybe Bayern now lead the race, but we've still got to wait 15 days until July 1st when this release clause can be triggered, and then we'll see what happens. But do you see stuff like this and go, here we go again, that a player that we're tied with or linked with for weeks upon end, a Gakpo. It's known as a Gakpo, and then eventually just goes somewhere else.
Someone comes in. Just before I talk about that, RMC, big report, big French outlet, they have just said, just really quickly, as announced by Reuters, information confirmed by RMC Sport, Qatar is about to enter into exclusive negotiations with the Glazer family, owners of Manchester United, for the takeover of the English club. So
now
RMC,
you've got two people now.
That's two big. Look, obviously RMC are huge in France, 2.3 million followers. Again, they've decided to attach their name, and not just attach their name. Their statement, their tweet actually says information confirmed by RMC. So they says as announced by Reuters is one thing, but they're basically, I don't know, Owen, you're probably better at this stuff than me. They're insinuating that they've done their own checks by saying confirmed by RMC. They're not saying confirmed by Reuters because we've spoke to them. They're saying Reuters said it, but it's been confirmed to us too.
Yeah, so they're saying sources have confirmed the Reuters report. Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani is in the process of entering exclusive negotiations with the Glazer family, owner of Manchester United, for the acquisition of the English club. The opening of exclusive negotiations would represent a considerable step forward in the file. So basically, they're saying their sources are different to the sources from Reuters, and they're saying the same thing.
Same thing.
Wow, about that Kim story. Let's go back to let's go back to
take all
Qatar.
them other ones. I tell you what, I've got a challenge for you.
Ignore me. There might be a new thumb on the way.
I tell you what. Get that Mbappe swap thing off there. Get that out and get Rabiot out.
Or just ignore them. Just ignore them. Ignore them.
I'd change the thumb.
Yeah.
Look, it's happening. Oh my God! Like another person. No. Well, it's interesting because what we have been saying is believe the financials. The financials are the people that know. This is RMC Sport.
By the way, I can't believe we were just slagging off KG and then something comes out. You might have been a day off. Could you imagine? Tier 8 KG.
Yeah, he's gone up a tier. Listen, RMC have said that's big. That's big. It's another reputable big outlet attaching their name to this situation, isn't it? That's what it is. Again, does it mean it's true? Does it mean it's happening? I think it means something's happening. Something. We still don't know. Danny says, Flex, it's happening. KG needs to join the live. We need to give him his accolades. We can't give accolades yet. And he's a day out. And there's no announcement yet. We can't give KG's accolades. If it happens, KG is now 8.5. If it happens, then we will be sure to. But if you're just joining us, RMC have tweeted this in the last couple of minutes. Actually, they tweeted it at 9:29. They said, as announced by Reuters, information confirmed by RMC Sport, Qatar is about to enter into exclusive negotiation with the Glazer family, owners of Manchester United, for the takeover of the English club. So, they've gone big on it. I mean, let me translate this, actually, and we can probably just read out what they are saying. Right, they said, this is the full thing. Takeover of Manchester United. This is at 10:07, but obviously it's the time difference. Takeover of Manchester United. Qatar on the verge of entering into exclusive negotiations. So their headline is they're on the verge of entering into exclusive negotiations. As announced by Reuters, information confirmed by RMC Sport, Qatar via a consortium led by Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani is on the verge of entering into exclusive negotiations with the Glazer family, the owners of Manchester United, for the acquisition of the English club. Discussion on the contours of this exclusivity are underway, and the announcement of it could soon fall if parties agree. The opening of exclusive negotiations would present a considerable advance in the file, even if the process is long, and that it would not automatically lead to the sale of the club. This also confirms once again that the Qatari candidacy holds the rope compared to that of Ineos. That bit there is interesting. This would confirm once again that the Qatari candidacy holds the rope compared to that of Ineos after several months of battle between the two. So they're basically saying, how I debunk that is they're saying that the negotiations to be exclusive are happening now. they're on the verge. Listen to the terminology. They're on the verge of entering into exclusive negotiations. So they're saying they're nearly there, where that the Glazers and Sheikh Jassim are in exclusive talks. And they're also saying that if they did have that, it would say that they hold the rope compared to that of Ineos, so that they're further ahead, and that would mean a positive outcome for Qatar. That's how I look at that. Which, Owen, thoughts on that, or are you not ready yet? Have you got stuff to do?
Not just yet.
Owen's in his bag. What do you lot think? I mean, there's super chats here as well. Let's get those out. I mean, it's all going off again now. It's all going off. It's all going off. WJ Barrett says, KG, change that tier, bro. In KG, we trust. Accolades. Nathan Joseph, been a member for 5 months. He says, our tons. Big up the community and man like Keegs. Hope he gets that scoop. I mean, since that's happened, Nathan, obviously now RMC are saying the same thing. And look, we were just saying that because someone says something doesn't mean it's true. But that is too big, you know, 2 big outlets claiming the same thing. It really is. It's 2 big outlets claiming the same thing. It's two reputable people. And we said about only believing the financials. We said about only, you know, seeing that the financial people are the people who understand this better than the football journalists. Well, now we're even getting the big sports outlets confirming the same thing. And we're going to be right across this if you're just joining us. And we're going to carry on to look at this because it is insane. It is insane. United Districts have just tweeted, obviously in favor in what that RMC Sport was just saying. They said that, which is from what I just read, the opening of exclusive negotiations would present a considerable step forward in the Man United sale process, even if the process is long and would not automatically lead to the sale of the club. So that is a little bit of a caveat there. They're saying, look, the process could still be long, and them going into exclusive negotiations doesn't automatically lead to the sale of the club. That's not me trying to shit on the parade. It's me just reporting what the actual statement and all of the statement, because I think that's what's important when we get things that we want to hear. We want to hear other reputable outlets back up that Qatar are going into exclusive negotiations. We want to hear that. We're here for that news. I'm here for that. You lot are here for that. But when these big publications put these things out, instead of taking the little snippets from the headline from what the aggregator accounts do, it's really important to go to the whole statement or blog or piece that they've done and read it all. And these are things that are in it. And I'll repeat this bit again. The opening of exclusive negotiations would represent a considerable step forward in the Man United sale process. Just in the sale process, not necessarily just for Sheikh Jassim, but in the sale process. Even if the process is long and would not automatically lead to a sale of the club. So it'd be a significant step because it's a step further. It's a step, you know, closer to where there's a conclusion. And obviously it's in one way as well, because one party, in this case, Sheikh Jassim, would be going into exclusive negotiations. So that is not only a step further in the sale process, it's actually a step further in the direction that we want to see it in. Because if it was Sir Jim going into exclusive negotiations and not Sheikh Jassim, that would be going further away from where we want it to be. So I get that. That's positive. 100% that's positive. I believe that. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's an automatic sale to Sheikh Jassim. Like people were saying yesterday, this is where we go back to the Reuters situation of, you know, another bid, another one from Sir Jim could change that. Another alteration to his bid in terms of how much percentage he's willing to pay or how much he's willing to give them over 2 to 4 year period, etc., etc. It would basically throw the ball back to his side of the court and say, well, we're in negotiations over here. What are you saying, Sir Jim? The Glazers could say that. So in flat voice, it's all going off. It is all going off again. It really is.
It's all going off.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because maybe this is why. So you heard, obviously, Rio say his thing yesterday, and you see Reuters say their thing yesterday, and now you have RMC say their thing today. Maybe they're all hearing it from kind of the same place or the same circles. And that's very interesting because, like we were saying earlier on, you've now really got 2 sides saying two different things. But now, maybe previously it was like, well, there's quite a lot of people on this side saying, no, nothing's really changed. But more and more people are starting to say something else now, which is really interesting too, is it not?
It's catching on. It's that, Owen. It's that. You know, interesting. That's how I see these things. I know Ahmed sees it differently. Ahmed saying flex in capitals, flex. Get off that flimsy fence and join the believers. KG is amongst the tireless greats, the tearless greats. Do I believe? I believe. Listen, I believe because I want it to be Altans. I want it to be. So Altans. I want it to be them. I really. KG so mad at me. Altans can't just make that whole term Altans. But I do believe. I don't know. Do you know what it is? Me personally, and you could say it's too conservative. I just don't like going mad about things to be let down. I'd rather go mad once it's happened. I'd rather like lose my shit. Remember when? Was you on that stream or was it just me and KG? Was that United Stand when the Ed Woodward left on the spot?
I was on that one. It was all three of us.
He was on that, innit?
Yeah.
How ironic is that all three of us were on United Stand?
Yeah, we were on it. Yeah.
It was when the Super League was collapsing. It was all falling like a stack of shit. And then it was Ed Woodward's gone. Yeah, we just literally lost our minds on that stream. I'd love to. You know, I might go back and watch that stream. That was funny.
Yeah.
So I want that. I want it to be that. That was official statement. Well, actually, was it official? Why did we go mad? It might not have been official. All the journalists saying it.
Yeah, all the journalists went with it. Yeah, and we were like, oh my God, it was crazy.
When it's unanimous, I think when you get a blanket with, it doesn't matter whether you're British journalists, your Reuters, your Financial Times, when they all say one thing, it's true. It's happening. Just like a transfer, when all the journalists go, deal done, agreed. It's, for a transfer. It's happening. And I just want to wait for that moment before I really do that. And maybe that's me just keeping it all in and it's all going to come out in a mad way of a mad relief, But I don't know if it's because I'm in it and we have to keep reporting it and we have to be on these highs, then be on these lows, then go left, then go right, then go up, then go down. It is actually an emotional roller coaster as a fan, but you're trying to also be professional or, be responsible, should I say. Not always professional, because people could say, listen, you're a fan channel. You're not the Daily Mail. You don't have to be professional, Flex. I get that. We're fans first. So, but I mean, responsible is what we do have to be. Because I think one thing I hate is that fan channels and YouTube and, content creation gets frowned upon in different arenas as not credible, as look at these bunch of idiots just doing this. And I never want that for United View. I want us to have that mixture of fun, information, factual, and emotion. I want us to have it all. You know what I mean?
It must be said as well, when you do click on the actual article itself, and I think you mentioned this about translating it into English, it's not long. Like, it's literally 2 paragraphs and a little bit in between. It's not big. So just again, if you are just joining us, RMC are going with the same thing that Reuters went with yesterday, saying takeover of Manchester United, Qatar on the verge of entering into exclusive negotiations. As announced by Reuters, information confirmed by RMC Sport, Qatar, by a consortium led by Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani, is on the verge of entering into exclusive negotiations with the Glazer family, owners of Manchester United, for the acquisition of the English club. Decisions, as Flex mentioned, on the contours of this exclusivity are underway, and the announcement of it could soon fall if the parties agree. The opening of exclusive negotiations would represent a considerable advance in the file, even if the process is long, and that it would not automatically lead to a sale of the club. This also confirms once again that the Qatari candidacy holds the rope compared to that of Ineos after several months of battle between the two. So what is actually quite interesting in what they're saying too, Flex, is that they're saying, yeah, we've heard the same thing that Reuters have heard, exactly. but that doesn't mean Qatar are winning. That doesn't mean they are going to become exclusive. We've just heard the same thing, that they're in negotiations of trying to enter exclusivity. They've heard the same things, and these discussions about entering exclusivity are underway. Which again, even if that process did happen, i.e., we did get an announcement later today, or well, they would have to announce it. If they were going to announce this, and this is the key thing again, this is when it gets into New York Stock Exchange territory. if they're going to announce this, they've got a very short amount of time to announce it, because the stock exchange opens at 2:30 our time, I think it is. I think that's right. You can let me know in the chat. It's in the afternoon, around that period of time. So if they're going to announce anything, it has to be coming within the next few hours. If not, then we have to wait throughout the day, and they have to then also be careful that what happened yesterday doesn't happen again, where because these articles come out, the share price goes mental, and they go, pause, stop, not doing it anymore. We're not trading again. We've got to pause. This is too volatile. So I suppose my question to you, Flex, is: do we, based off this information, do you still think we hear nothing today, or do you think a bit like yesterday, because RMC have come out and said this today, we get now people picking up the phone again, going, well, this is the second people that have done this. Like, what is going on?
I don't think anything changes from the British media side. No, I don't think anything changes. And the reason why I think that is a little bit because of what, how enlightened I was from talking to Mike Keegan, in person, for him to say, listen, I trust my sources, and this journalism thing is about trusting your sources and standing by it, not just knee-jerk reaction. And he said, and this is just me taking what he said to me and how I understand it and why I think there'll be no change from this side. He said it's about keeping calm when the noise happens. Now, we as fans can say, listen, mate, you and the British journalists are probably shitting it now. He admitted himself. That's what they do. They shit it. They go, fuck. They're ringing people saying, have you seen this? What they're ringing their sources saying, well, I've just seen that. Yeah. Have I been scooped? Have I been pipped to the line? What's this? What is this? That happens, and he's probably doing that right now. Maybe I'll message him and say, Mark, how you doing? Mike, you're right. What's going on? I might drop a message actually and say that. But at what point do they backtrack on themselves? Because for them to backtrack on themselves, that's their own credibility going down, and that's they pride themselves on not doing that. They pride themselves actually on having the process of speaking to both sides. In Mike Keegan's words, not mine. They pride themselves on sticking strong with their sources and believing in their sources. And if they get pipped, you offer your hand out in a handshake and say, I got done. Go again next time. So I don't think anything will change. And actually, we can see with the British media that they've not changed once in all of this. What would probably happen is someone like Simon Stone again, or Mike Keegan, or Ben Jacobs, or Laurie Whitwell, or whoever it is, or Carvey, who actually wasn't involved in anything yesterday. He just kept quiet, to my knowledge. They will probably double down on their thing and say, still no change. They'll just reiterate the line. I didn't see Carvey say anything.
No, I didn't think I saw Carvey go on Sky Sports News. He went on earlier this week to do the Al Watan thing. He definitely did that. I think he's actually on there at the moment, so you never know. He might say that at the moment.
Right. He might say it. But do you know what I mean? I see it as the English media will the same way of Reuters have tripled down and whatever we want to call it. They're not going to move their stance now. All they're going to do is probably put the same line out that's going to piss everyone off. And in their mentions, everyone's going to be under it saying, you just won't admit defeat. You lot don't know anything. That's what's going to happen. Yeah.
No, I agree. I would expect the same as yesterday, Groundhog Day, get excited. Like you said, those other journalists come out and say, news, but this is how crazy is it? Yeah. Is that again, that you've got, so the reports that were coming out yesterday evening, saying reports that Sheikh Jassim was in negotiations to enter exclusivity were a surprise to him, or that news to us. And then you've got RMC going, they're in active negotiations for exclusivity. You go, what? What? And it goes back to the original thumb before it changed, what to believe. Because now the other side's got another outlet in the battle, if you will, against each other. And it comes down to who do you believe? The share price as of right now is still $25.17, which is pretty much the same, to be honest, from where it was yesterday. I mean, it went crazy. It went up to 26 yesterday. And as Faisal Islam says, when it gets to that $30, then that's his number for what he thinks a takeover is imminent. But I thought, honestly, Flex, after yesterday wasn't going to be like this. And it's already started again. It's earlier.
It's earlier, but at the moment, it is just one. It's significant. I mean, look, let's be honest. Again, I'm just going to ask a question here, yeah? And everyone, I just want everybody to answer it how they feel. RMC RMC got 2.3 million followers, 2.5 million followers, whatever it is, a substantial amount, right, of followers. How much of you at home regard them as like that's your source of news? Because they're French-based, aren't they? They're big in France.
And that's going to be the thing, isn't it? I was just about to say is people
just be honest. Just be honest with yourself. Well, how many of you go there for your transfer news?
No, but I think what people will say is France. Okay, what's in France that has a heavy Qatari presence? PSG. So that's the leap that people will make here, won't it? That's what they'll be saying. They'll go, well, it's French. Obviously, French have got really good, strong Qatari sources because they do. They do have really strong Qatari links and sources. So that's probably why it might have more weight than it would if it was just a nameless sort of dog in the fight. But I suppose maybe there's a little bit more to it. So, you know, both sides.
A few people are saying they've never heard of them. Foxy says never heard of them, honestly. Tank says never heard of them. Skilano says never heard of them until they were mentioned here. And Wayne says never heard of them. So look, I'm not saying they're wrong, by the way. I'm saying it's significant they've said it. I just wanted to pose the question to see how many people in the chat, you guys watching, how do you rate on a normal day before RMC said this? If I said to you, what do you think of that outlet RMC? What would your answer be? But versus what would your answer be now they've said this? That's the only question I'm asking.
Yeah. And it must be said, look, you know, it's like sometimes when they'll, you know, like those random transfers that might come from, say, like an RMC, and it'll be like, pick any French player. Dimitri Payet is going to Manchester United. You'd be like, piss off, man. Manchester United. And it's from RMC. You go, that's nonsense. And then it doesn't happen. You see, this is why you can't trust them. This is when it gets back into that territory of, you know, why are you believing this? Are you believing this because you want to believe it? Or are you believing it just because, again, you think, oh, I think that's right? Or is it because there are actual valid reasons for you to believe it? And it kind of gets all murky and messy when it comes to all that. So here we go again. Another day of it, Fleck. Another day of all of this madness.
Another one.
Another one.
Sheikh says, I don't even know which reports to believe after the complete piss take from both sides of the world yesterday. At this point, I'm praying Qatar. Clueless. I think you probably sum it up quite well there, Sheikh. We don't know, but we're just praying. Just praying for Qatar. V33 says, a welcome parade in Manchester if Altans wins. I'm down for that if you are. I'll be there.
KG's driving. He's driving the bus.
KG's driving the bus with us all.
No, he's not actually. He's not driving the bus. He's driving a 2-seater smart car in front of the bus with the top down. That's honestly, what he's. That's what he's.
A guy. What a guy. Ahmed says, didn't these same journos get it completely wrong when it came to Chelsea? Shameless. And UPAE, I think I've pronounced that right. Apologies if I haven't. Says, aren't they the train union people? Who?
RMC.
RMC. Oh no, that's RMT. And actually, RMT, I know that because my stepdad used to work in that union. Actually, he worked in REW, but RMT is another one. So,
for instance, this is quite interesting. We were going to talk about Rabiot, right? And obviously that's not happened. But that report came from RMC Sport. that's you know.
So if it was Owen, that's a great one. If they were reporting, like you said, it come from Rabiot.
Yeah.
Because you don't want Rabiot, everyone's going to say that's probably bullshit. Isn't it?
But then there would be some people that would go, well, he's French. It's a French outlet. There might be some weight to it. You know, that's what happens.
But because you don't want to believe it, there is going to be a bit of like, do you know what? Nah, whatever. He ain't coming. So, I don't know. Have we got time to do the Onana one, actually?
Possibly. This is from the women's side of things. Laurie Whitwell's reporting that Alessia Russo is to leave the club when her contract expires at the end of June.
Yeah, I thought that was going to happen. There were some people who were really pissed off about that, going to a rival. Said that we offered her the decent money as well. And she hadn't signed the contract, has she, in the lead up to the back end of the season, and was keeping quite tight-lipped about it. So yeah, that's gonna be a tough one to take, that is, because actually Man United proved this year that they can mix it. They can mix it with the best, you know. Yeah. Only been going for a few years now, at WSL level anyway. And for that to happen, to lose your star player, to lose our striker, that is
free.
on a free as well. Not you know, and she's going to be one of the highest paid players in the league. I was reading. But yeah, like Laurie Whitwell says, they're big players to replace that.
Yeah, so just quickly on the Onana stuff, this came from, once again, Laurie Whitwell from The Athletic, and also Mario Tagana. Tremendous pronunciation, Owen. Get in. Manchester United are considering a move for Andre Onana. Inter may demand up to £70 million for the goalkeeper. Now, this does depend on David De Gea's status at United at the moment. Now, the debate is whether or not De Gea is actually going to stay, if he's going to leave on a free. There's been reports of Saudi Arabia. Obviously, this agreement has been reached, but hasn't been signed off just yet. Laurie Whitwell says David De Gea has agreed in principle to extend his Manchester United stay and communicated his intention to return to the club, but a new deal has not been yet signed. Should he leave, an approach for Andre Onana would be more likely. If De Gea stays at United, United would look to sign a young backup goalkeeper who could develop at the club. But Verbruggen has been scouted and would fit the bill, although I'm pretty sure I saw a report the other day saying that Brighton had near enough agreed terms with him or something like that. So I'm not sure how close it would be on that one. But Onana, Flex, has that one been spoken into existence after his performance in the Champions League final the other day?
Yeah, everyone's radar and then would go up a high profile game where everybody's watching around the world. Everyone was watching that. So if it kind of, I'm not saying Onana's not good because he's got a track record with Erik ten Hag anyway, so he's actually good. But the difficulty is in watching games like that in one-off moments where everybody's watching in the world is if you have a good game in that, people are like, did you see that player? Number 8, bloody hell. He was this, he was that, he was excellent. Oh, I'd have him. Or if they play crap, it's, oh, did you see that number 6? He was crap, man. I thought he was supposed to be good. You're judging it off one game. But essentially on Onana, we're not. We know he's played under Erik ten Hag at Ajax. We know he's been really good under him. Obviously, he had a hiccup with, was it the drugs? He got banned, didn't he? He
got banned for like a year or something like that.
Yeah. Did he miss a drugs test or did he get?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they found like a prohibited substance. I'm not sure. Yeah. We can double check that. Someone, I'm sure, will let us know in the chat.
We're not going to speculate on that because we don't know.
As far as I'm aware, as far as I'm aware, that wasn't the reason he fell out with Ajax or Ten Hag. I think it was more based on this going to Inter on a free transfer or something like that. I'm not sure. But there's a lot of discussion of why would he want to come to United because didn't it end badly at Ajax? But some people are saying that wasn't necessarily with Ten Hag, that was more with the club and with like Overmars and maybe Van der Sar at the time. So I don't know. The best people to be that might be the We Talk Ajax guys. They would know more about that.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe we'll talk to them about him actually. What I was saying before we went live, Owen, is that
Josh tells me, by the way, he took his wife's pregnancy pills by accident, which contained a banned substance.
Josh said that to you?
Yeah.
What, did he just message you that?
Allegedly.
Oh, right. He must have just quickly Googled it or whatever, and then bloody hell, that's unlucky, isn't it? He did what?
He took his wife's pregnancy pills by accident, which contained a banned substance, allegedly.
Bloody hell. So you got all your tablets on the side. You might think you're taking a paracetamol and that, but you take the wrong one because he misses his ones on the side. Anyway, he's obviously done his time. He plays again now, so not our problem. It doesn't matter. It don't matter to us really, does it?
No,
it doesn't. What I was saying to
Josh Owen, says, Arsenal were in for him 2 years ago. This is how I know.
All right. Okay. Fair play. Not Josh. Not Josh. So what tier's Josh? What are we saying?
KG's an 8. Josh sources.
KG's an 8. What's Josh? KG's an 8. What's Josh?
It's not even tiers with him. It's a different level. I can't even begin to describe what tier he would be. He is legitimate tiers, not as in tier 1. He's actual tiers coming from your eyes. That's what Josh is. He's a teardrop, as Jason says.
Interesting. So what I was saying to Owen before is that this De Gea situation, I think, is actually becoming a bigger thing than maybe we thought. Because let's be honest, Owen, me and you can vouch for this. I can vouch for this. I've been on the shows with you. We said, listen, De Gea ain't going anywhere, so just get used to it. Like that deal's going to get announced. When it does, everyone's going to go into meltdown. This was actually before the West Ham thing, before the Sevilla mistake. This was actually quite early on when people were like, oh, why are we going to get a new keeper in the summer, etc., etc. This was all before that. And now the reports have just been like, well, that the deal's just sitting there, unsigned. While Man United work out what's going on, interest from Saudi Arabia. And then now I think it's become more of a situation where Man United are undecided, I think, here, because the season's finished, a while ago now, over a couple of weeks ago. When was the FA Cup final?
A couple of weeks ago now, yeah.
A couple of weeks ago now. City have won the treble over a week ago. It's all died down. It's all about transfers now. Everyone's not forgot about the treble, but you get what I mean. It's all dying down. It's Nations League rubbish, and then soon it's going to be tour. This is the perfect time for Man United to be announcing in their world that David De Gea is staying. Why not? Why not? I think it's because it's not done yet, and I think it's because things are going on behind the scenes. And if that conversation is different to David De Gea now, and Ten Hag saying, "Well, I don't know, mate. Actually, to be fair, I haven't signed it off because, I have, my feelings on Onana. I can't guarantee you, and I know he's already said it in public. I won't always say he's my number one, but what if that's been ramped up now? Because I think it's proper peculiar that this hasn't been announced yet.
It is odd. It's very strange. And as I said the other day, part of me does feel like that the Saudi PIF, all these clubs in Saudi Arabia might just be like, let's just, if we can get across from him, get across the table from him, we might be able to win him over. As we said before, with his current wage, was it 375, something like that, particularly now that they've qualified for the Champions League, he might look at this and say, okay, what have I got here in front of me? What are my two options? I can stay at United, lesser wage, not guaranteed to be number one. Okay, put that there. But my family likes to be here and I don't really want to move. And this is the way of life I know. Or I can go to Saudi Arabia. I can get more than the current contract I'm on because he'd get more. I'm sure he'd be like, actually, for me to go there, it'd have to be a lot more than 375. They'd be like, what do you want? I'll give you what you want. He could get that, and he could be number one. And it's not as if he's working his way back into the international team, is it? Because they're not picking him anyway.
Never.
So he's not even. It's not even a case of but then you give up on your career and all that kind of stuff. He's near enough. Apart from the Champions League, he's won everything out there, hasn't he? Apart from even at international level, I don't think was he in those squads for the Euros and the World Cup.
No,
he might have been. No. I'm not sure.
No.
Just because
just now.
No, when they won the World Cup and the Euros.
Oh, was De Gea there? He must have been.
He might have been. He might have been on the periphery. I'm not sure if he was actually in the squads. The point being is he's won near enough everything apart from the Champions League, right? So he might be like, maybe I'll take it. Maybe I'll just go. Maybe I'll just say, yeah, I'll go for it. So it is certainly curious because, as you mentioned, they've said for months at this point, everything's good to go. And nothing's happened. So if it's good to go, why haven't you done it? And it just feels like Man United are certainly assessing their options, doesn't it?
Yeah, they're stalling. Just another claim. MUFC MPB, they're claiming that Sky News Arabia have said this. Manchester United are considering to grant Qatari group led by Sheikh Jassim exclusive negotiating rights to buy Manchester United for more than £6 billion. Dollars. Sources familiar with the matter said, and they've added Sky News in not Sky Sports News, Sky News in Abu Dhabi. They've got 8.5 million followers. Look, listen, I'm on their page trying to look where they've said it. Have they pushed it? Have they put it out? I can't see it on their page. I can't. We can look into it, but again, one of our aggregator accounts is claiming that Sky News Arabia said it, and they're the only ones saying that. I can't confirm that. I'm trying to look for it. Owen's probably trying to look now as well. It is what it is. We're going to get, what we can tell from today is that we're going to get more outlets sort of coming to the party in it. I think that's what is conclusive. I think we can agree on that, but I just looked at Sky Arabia to see if that's the case, where if they had a bulletin, because it could be just on the TV where they're live and they're saying it. So it's hard to get that in writing or physical form, or it takes a while for the quotes to come out. So I don't know. Watch that space in this, but I just thought I'd share that with you guys.
Yes. And I think well, one thing's for certain today, be on standby because you never know what's going to happen today. It's another day of this. Although I will say, I don't know if I can take many more days of this, Flex, like stuff like this. It's draining. It really is, isn't it? It's it's crazy.
Just really quickly, actually, Zimmer 1984 says, Flex, you haven't mentioned the Spectator Index with millions of followers also in agreement with Reuters. Didn't you do that yesterday, Owen? Or was that before?
No, that was late last night. That was from the Spectator Index.
So they did say the same thing.
And
they are an aggregator account, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
As opposed to a source of information. But again, millions and millions of followers. You know, again, people would be, but millions of followers doesn't always mean credibility. You know,
it doesn't mean right always.
Bloody blog pages have millions of followers, Shade Borough, and things like that. They just report mad stuff. It doesn't mean that that's credible. It just means that they got a lot of followers. But
and also what was interesting with the Spectator Index one is because they said, you know, breaking, Man United sale is now being negotiated exclusively with the Qatari consortium. They didn't even say that they were negotiating for exclusivity. They said it's being negotiated exclusively with them. But it was quite odd because, again, for a news aggregator account, they didn't say where they were getting that information from, which was quite curious too. So there's a lot of this going on as well, isn't there? There's a lot of this kind of stuff. And I'm sure, again, today it's going to continue. It's crazy.
Yeah, and just to finish off, Alessia Russo has put a tweet out herself with a little video saying it's been the hardest decision I've ever had to make. Man United women, thank you for everything. And there's a little minute or so video of a montage of her time at the club, which has come to an end. So I think she's going to go to Arsenal, which is a disgrace and a cheat, to be honest with you. She should have stayed at Man United and make us great again, but she didn't. So she's a disgrace and a cheat. But yes. Guys, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. As Owen said, we'll be right across this. Don't know what's going to happen. Don't know when we're next going to see you. But
by the way, Flex as well, top right-hand corner, we're on 142,692. We can get that to 6. Well, we can get to 700. There's 8 to go. 8 to go.
Yeah.
That's it.
Why not?
8.
On the way out.
On the way out. 142,700. Only 8. 8 of you. There must be 8 of you who haven't subscribed, you know? Yes. So we can get to 142,000. It's already going up. There you go. It's what I like to see.
There you go. 100%.
So there you go.
Love that, guys. Okay, we're out of here and we'll see you all again very, very soon. Peace.